How your lawn looks says a lot about you, so put your lawn care maintenance into the hands of someone who really cares. They're reasonable, experienced, reliable, licensed, and insured. They are Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio. Commercial and residential services are available all year long. Call or text them today for a free estimate. Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio, 419-708-0005. Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio. Hey, it is Smooth Tim and Larry E. on another happy hump day on the Tim's Tidbits show. What's happening, Larry? How are you, man?
Feeling, man, surviving. Surviving. The weather's getting better, so getting my skin color back,
And, it's not so hot down there now?
Yeah, I might get back to my light skinned. I might get, those light skinned people privileges. I'm finna say white skinned. I mean the light skinned black.
Oh, white privilege stuff, huh? What's up with that, man?
I almost got racial.
Yeah, what is up with that?
And it's not as hot as it is now. So, what about your weather down there? What you look like?
Oh, we're not bad, man. Been in the 80s, I guess. I mean,
ooh,
beautiful weather.
Really?
Yeah, beautiful weather. Get a little bit of rain, so grass is growing. Just the opposite of Texas.
Man, that grass is dried and
I get tired of mowing the damn stuff. It's insane.
I often say it's dried and somebody snatched.
Don't offend.
It's dried and Bill Clinton's wife snatched. That's how dry.
You hitting on Hillary, huh?
Oh yeah, that's right, Hillary. Yeah, it's dried and her snatch. It's dry.
Anyhow, man, what are we gonna talk about? Oh yeah, top of the headlines, man. Wow. I guess it's all over the news. It's almost hard to miss. Is our former president got his Mar-a-Lago home taken over for a moment by the FBI, who was searching for some information. Let's roll the clip and then come back and chitty chat about our former president.
And a very big story, the FBI executing a surprise search at former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. Investigators looking into whether Trump took classified records from the White House while leaving office. It's unclear whether Trump could face criminal charges, but it does signal agents had enough information to convince a judge to sign off on the warrant. And that raid coming as the former president also faces separate investigations related to the January 6th riot, his conduct in Georgia after the 2020 election, and his business dealings in New York.
Well, tonight, the former president and Republican colleagues calling the raid politically motivated and vowing retaliation against the Justice Department. Here's Fox 2's Charlie Langton.
You're talking about the former president of the United States. That's as sensitive as it's going to get.
Lawyer, law professor, currently head of the Detroit Crime Commission and formerly in charge of the FBI in Detroit.
I mean, the FBI and Department of Justice have a lot of explaining to do.
We caught up with Andy Arena to get his thoughts on Monday's FBI raid that took place at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Is it easy to get a search warrant?
It depends on what it is you're looking for. With a case like what the FBI just did at Mar-a-Lago, I mean, obviously it's sensitive.
Sensitive in that the FBI, and ultimately a judge, would have to scrutinize the request to get a search warrant. Do you think the Attorney General maybe signed off on this?
I would be stunned if the Attorney General and the Director of the FBI did not sign off on this.
And normally for a search warrant, there should be a defined crime that the FBI is investigating, as well as the specific evidence to be collected, which at this time, many are speculating. Should the FBI or the Attorney General make a statement to the general public as to what the FBI was looking for?
You know, it's unfortunate they sealed everything, because I think that would probably shed some light on what they did and why they did it.
Washington, Fox 2 News.
Well, we know what they were looking for. I mean, they've been he talked about it, didn't he? Some of the boxes that how many boxes?
Yeah.
What did they
Come
say?
on, man. Trump is not gonna be dumb enough to leave evidence at his crib.
I wouldn't.
That stuff should be burnt, disintegrated, washed away. They should acid it, shred it.
That's funny, because did you see that where they had somebody, supposedly a White House staffer, it could still be all propaganda, who knows, but took a picture of some notes in a toilet, like that. Well, this is what Trump did with some of the stuff he wanted to get rid of. He just flushed it down the toilet. That was his way of taking care of national security information, is flush it down the toilet.
And plus, it's Trump too, Tim. Even if he did have information there, somebody would have tipped him off. That guy's too rich. He has too many connections for the FBI or anybody to run up on him, run down on him, and he not know. Come on, man. He's too connected.
Oh, for a surprise visit by the FBI? Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I know guys in the hood. I already know the feds are watching them. Some dudes that run 3-4 trap houses. I know some dudes in the hood. They know feds are on them. So how Trump ain't gonna know feds are on them? This dudes in the hood ain't got no walkie-talkies. They ain't got no internal connections with the police, nothing like that. But they got crackheads that say, "Hey, I seen that car down there with 3 people in it all day. That's the feds." So how Trump ain't gonna know if a crackhead can figure out that the feds are watching the trap house?
There's a bunch of them keep getting in and out of that U-Haul going to the burger stand.
I still can't believe them fools did that. God.
They hired the same people.
They were from Texas.
That's what it was. They had Texas FBI agents.
Texas FBI was trying to raid Trump, and they messed up.
Anyhow,
boy, Texas looking bad this year.
No, but
I mean, the heat is them dudes in a U-Haul truck. I'm like, come on, man.
You know, it'd be interesting speculation. You know, what was they looking for, and and I can't remember what. You're gonna hear people saying, well, now they're gonna plant stuff. Or, or maybe he had stuff that, was information he could use later on an individual. Who knows?
Hey, Tim,
what they were freaking looking for.
Listen to this right here. This is smart. This is real smart. Trump still wants to be president again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why not? This is all a buildup. The feds raided my home, didn't find anything. I feel bad about that. The feds did this. The government did this. I came clean. There's nothing on my record showing that I did anything illegal in the office. Now, say that all his other opponents, they have stuff on their record, some trash in their record. Trump done came clean. The feds done hit him, D people done hit him, everybody done hit him. He's clean. Okay? So he's going to use this part of his campaign. Watch. Watch.
Nothing sticks to me.
Exact. Watch. That's going to be part of his campaign. He's out there playing golf with Saudi Arabia, and I still can't believe he did that. And people still love that dude. And feds hitting him up. Watch what he does. He's going to use that, and it's going to be of leverage, and he's going to have some pull behind that.
It'll be interesting because now you see that you have a lot of the GOP people in an outrage at the Justice Department, saying that they overstepped their bounds. FBI is, how dare they? But they're the ones that sit there and now they're all pissed off at the law enforcement. Now what do they want to defund the FBI, defund the CIA?
You know what? That's what we haven't talked about that. But one thing about defunding the police, I want to say real quick. It ain't about defunding the police or agencies like that. It's about holding them accountable. A lot of people always say defund them. You can't defund them. Hold them accountable. It's way bigger than defunding. If they make a mistake, like a regular person makes a mistake, hold them accountable to the same justice that you will hold a black man or a poor white man or a poor black man or a poor Mexican man. Hold them accountable. You ain't got to defund anybody. And
we've talked about that in past shows, is that, hold them accountable. And even better yet, you're not talking about defunding. How about re-equip with the proper tools, with the proper education, Yeah,
that's what you do. That's what you do, because you got to understand, we got bad cops, make bad decisions. FBI made a bad decision, run up on Trump. Now he looks squeaky clean. He looking good. He already had the Saudi Arabia joint. How we know he didn't set that up? How the feds will raid him and then say, "Hey, I'm clean now." That done blown over. Now we got this. That blew over. So, but at the end of the day, who's making these decisions? Who's making these calls? Who's been held accountable when it goes wrong? And these are police forces, the higher level, FBI, CIA. So who's been held accountable? That's the problem. Accountability. They act like they're trying to hold Trump accountable, but are they really trying to hold him accountable? Or are they just playing a game?
Political show.
Putting up some more smoke. They put some more smoke up. They decided Raver thing was probably kicking his ass. Now let's run the feds in his house to try to find some documents about the treason crap he did with the insurrection and whatever. And now it's nothing there. So now they don't forgot about the Saudi Arabia joint. He done made his money in Saudi Arabia playing golf. Now they're worried about this. It's a smoke screen, man.
Yeah, it was the insurrection. The erection was in Russia with the PP party. But in any regard, yeah,
I call it erection because they had a hard on. They had a hard on for Trump being president.
No, I think what I would like to see out of it all, and it's not necessarily smear Trump or anybody else. And I know all kinds of these people are getting their cell phones seized by the FBI. All kinds of crap has been going on this week. It's amazing. However, if there was a unification, conspiracy, whatever you want to try to put it, to alter, the election, well, those people should be held accountable.
But
because you don't want it to happen again, so you need to set up protective measures. Say, well, they broke in this time. Well, I'm going to take preventative measures by putting on a deadbolt lock so that this is not going to happen again in this particular manner.
Well, I do believe that in any election, whether you're running for president, school president, any kind of whatever you're running for, local government, there's going to be someone trying to rig it, sabotage it. There's going to be mudslinging. There's going to be that. It's going to happen. It's just that happens internally with the government. That happens internally. But they got regular folk involved with this. That's what happened. That's the biggest difference between the mudslinging and the campaigns and all the crap they do with each other, talk about each other, got the guns and all this, pulling up dirt about what they did 20 years ago. But when they got those people to go in there and go on the Capitol, raid the Capitol, that's when everything changed.
Yeah, it did make a change. It did.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference compared to just because politics are dirty, bro.
Oh,
politics is the dirtiest game.
Come on, Larry. Come on.
Yeah, politics is dirty.
Come on.
Any kind of politics is dirty.
No. You know what? You mentioned accountability, right?
Yeah.
Well, here is a town that held their entire police agency accountable.
Oh, man.
In a town with fewer than 2,000 people, news spreads quickly. During a packed city council meeting, Vincent residents gathered to express their anger and frustration about Assistant Police Chief John Goss. He's accused of sending a racially offensive text message to other officers. Lifelong resident Sharon Davis is shocked.
These are people that are supposed to protect and serve. And to know that they're sending these racist text or making racist comments and things like that, it makes you not have any trust in them.
According to the Shelby County NAACP President Kenneth Dukes, one of the officers shared the text message with others and it started to circulate.
It was disappointment and frustration. It's just why? The continued question is why.
Dukes tells me the officer was asked to apologize to City Council, but he doesn't feel that's enough.
There's a fear factor. If this person thinks this way of you, how can he serve you?
I think we all would feel unsafe, because if he sends racist text like that, then we don't know what his next move is.
Okay, now, they didn't mention it. Now, the racist text that was sent was...
I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, what do you call a pregnant female slave? A BOGO.
I never heard that before.
Buy one, get one free, like BOGO. Yeah.
Yeah. So
real funny.
that's some fucked up shit.
Oh yeah. And he texts us on his, city, issued phone. And so, that's obviously how they got a hold of the records. That's public
should have
record.
just been looking at porn or something like that. I'm like,
yeah, you may as well have been surfing some gay porn shit rather than that.
Golly, man, listen, it's two things you can't do on your company phone. Okay, well, three things. You can't look at porn, you can't look at no child pornography, and you can't send a racist ass text because they can pull all that stuff up. You can do every damn thing else on there, but at the end of the day, the black lady killed me. I was shocked. I'm like, why are you too old to be shocked? That's how those assholes are, and we know that. And then other guy was disappointed. I'm like, why are you disappointed? That's how it is. Okay, their town is about as small as my hometown, Marlin. They had 3 officers, I think, down there. Am I correct? There's only 3 or 4 officers.
Oh, in that town. Yeah, you're right.
In
Correct.
that town, 3 or 4 officers. I grew
yes.
up, my hometown is like that. So, and like my hometown, our officers, we be in the bar with them. We'll be like doing everything at the car wash with them. Name it. Well, we might be at the bar with them chilling out, then they arrest us later. Like, man, come on, man.
How can you arrest me for DUI when you was buying rounds?
You bought me the drink, man. You the one bought me the drink, bro. But the thing about it, and then this crazy part is they got rid of all those cops. I think one resigned, and one they put them on leave. They put them on suspension with pay or whatever.
Yeah, the chief is out, and I think that guy's on suspension, and so the other guy just out and quit. So they was like,
that's just unprofessional, and it had no need for that. And then it's crazy because like that's how it is.
It is I'm not trying to profile the South, but that is, and it happens up north, but it seems to me more so in the South. You still have that mindset.
Yeah. Tim, it's everywhere. I'm like, even in the South, it's more, like you say, it's more in the South. They're more open about it.
More open about it, yes. It's more covert in the North.
Yeah, it's more open, like in your face. Like, nigga, move. I'm like, what? Boy, they'll call you boy real quick. Because I work with some guys from Mississippi. They say that they still doing it. They still throwing the N-word and calling them boy. I'm like, I'm a grown man. So it's happening. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad they got rid of those guys. But it's still many more of them.
Just ignorance.
Yeah, just ignorant, just being dumb. And the key word they said was serve. How they going to serve us? Police officers, I don't think a lot of them got the concept of being a police officer to protect and serve. They're public servants to us, period. They're just like the fire department, the EMS, they public servants, they serve us. We pay their tax dollars to serve us and treat us equally and justly, and it doesn't happen enough. So that's the problem.
Isn't that interesting, though? That is the same comment that was made by one of the people in the Uvalde situation. Is I thought that, you look at that video, and I thought the cops were here to protect and serve.
Yeah, they're supposed to. That's their job.
And there's so many instances where, they're not doing that. And they wonder why people are getting frustrated with them.
Yeah, and it's been happening years after years after years after years, because at the end of the day, their job is to protect and serve, period. That's their, if you read it, the first part of being a police officer is protect and serve. I'm like, it's the most important aspect of being a police officer.
I agree.
If you're not being a police officer to protect and serve, then why are you being a police officer? And that's everybody, not just white people, not just short people, not just disabled people, not just kids, not just the weak. You got to protect the strong and the weak, and the black and the white and the Mexican and the Asian across the world.
Yeah,
no
without prejudice. Job. Yeah, you need to serve the public.
I'm like the most unbiased people should be police officers in the judicial system and public servants, because they have to deal with people in the masses. They don't have to deal with their own race. They have to deal with the masses. They should be the most unbiased. They should have the bigger perspective. They should look at everything outside the box, but they don't, and it's wrong. And people suffer, and they take our money, and they incarcerate us, and that's everybody across the board. Because I know Black people get treated unjust a lot, but we're not the only ones getting treated like that. So. It just there's more of us.
it just comes more to light. Yeah, it's a mess. But
it's a mess. But
as we said,
they're not doing their job.
Let's not defund them. Let's get them better equipped, better
And
educated.
I get mad at people. And a lot of black people I might lose them with this, but you don't defund the police officers. At the end of the day, you need their ass. Okay.
Man, I couldn't imagine. I appreciate it when they respond when they're needed. But when
hold them accountable. But if an officer assaults or someone, that means that person is a victim.
That's right.
Just like if that person assaults somebody else, they're a victim. So that officer should get held accountable, just like that person got held accountable for assaulting that person and making them a victim. That's it. Accountability changes everything. And it's not happening in America.
100.
Probably across the world.
100. Hey, man, moving on. As we know, the prophets of war. With things going on in the Ukraine, and things maybe sparking off over in Taiwan, who knows, after Nancy's visit. But anyhow, let's see what's really happening behind the scenes, so to speak, Larry.
As Russian troops poured across Ukraine's border, kicking off the Russian invasion in late February, something else was happening at the same time in New York. The stock prices of the biggest U.S. weapons manufacturers spiked, many eventually climbing to their highest point in years.
War is good business for parts of the economy. Historically, it doesn't mean the defense contractors cynically want it. I know a lot of people in these companies, and they're as heartbroken by the war in Ukraine as the next person. But yes, war is good business for certain parts of the economy.
The latest American weapons shipments to Ukraine include systems like scores of 155mm howitzers that haven't been sent before, Switchblade and Ghost drones, hundreds of armored personnel carriers joining the now well-known and brutally effective Javelins and Stingers on Ukraine's battlefields.
Sometimes we will speak softly and carry a large javelin because we're sending a lot of those in as well.
Javelins are made in part by Raytheon, whose CEO said last month they do expect to benefit from the need to replenish U.S. stocks.
We don't apologize for making these systems, making these weapons. The fact is they are incredibly effective in deterring and dealing with the threat that the Ukrainians are seeing today. Eventually, we'll have to replenish it, and we will see a benefit to the business over the next coming years.
You think?
Man, that's war, bro. Who doesn't profit from war? I'm rephrase that.
Well, yeah, rephrase that. Correct.
Okay, because I know the smaller people don't profit from war, but what agency that's connected to the government doesn't profit from war? That's the whole purpose of war.
It seems to be to stimulate your economy rather. Why did they start doing it in the Middle Ages? Because they needed more lands, more money. So we'll just start wars and take over the lands and
Hey, if people
put everybody to work.
History of slavery. If I'm not mistaken, the Spanish were the ones who introduced guns to the African tribes. If we go back, I don't know if it was the Spanish, but guns were introduced to the African tribes to give them more an advantage to win the wars amongst their people, because everybody had wars amongst their own ethnicity of people. And they used actually traded slaves for guns and weapons. Weapons to fight, because they're using spears and javelins and all kinds of crap and bow and arrows. But
wait, you had other Africans using Africans as commodity to buy guns.
That's how it was, man. That's how it first.
You're a commodity now. You're no longer a human. You're a commodity.
Hey, I need this gun to shoot down 5 Africans compared to this bow and arrow shooting down 1. There's more of an advantage, and that's how it works. And it continues on and on and on and on and on. War is money, man. War has always been money.
And did you see the people involved too? And now this is the same people you're talking about. Your major arms manufacturers are all involved in this. So, and then you want to sit there and talk about gun control, and now they're just raking in millions, shipping.
See, that's what makes me mad about these politicians and presidents. Okay, if you really, really, really want to talk about some gun control and stuff like that, stop having these wars. How the hell did we let Ukraine all that happen? Who's supplying Ukrainians and the Germans with guns? Who's supplying those weapons? They're not making them themselves because they're at war. You can't be at war and make your own weapons of mass destruction. You at war. You need somebody to give them to you so you can fight. Even on the streets, the street hood dudes, they go get guns to fight their wars. They ain't making any guns, they ain't making the bullets. They got to go get them. So come on, man. At the end of the day, war is money. And like you say, Tim, we talking about gun control. It's all propaganda. It's all a smokescreen. It's all BS. No one cares about gun control because at the end of the day, you want a gun in your hand to shoot somebody that's trying to take your shit.
There it is.
At the end of the day, that's what you're going to have to have. If a civil war breaks out, if a war breaks out in America, you're going to need a gun. Knives and bow and arrows and all that crap ain't going to work. You need a gun. So they kill me when they preach about gun control. They only preach about gun control when somebody, a kid gets killed or whatever. But before the kid got killed, you should be already working on that before the kid gets killed. The control should be already done, not just wait till a kid get killed, then let's talk about gun control.
It'll be interesting with your perspective because, did we talk about that where Mexico's suing Smith & Wesson and Colt?
I think we should be talking about part of that tonight, too.
But anyhow, I don't even have that video. But in any regards, for the viewers, the Mexican government is suing the major arms manufacturers in the United States for I don't know how many, a couple $1 billion, Larry, something like that.
Yeah.
And point being is that they're reckless in their behavior of shipping weapons to Mexico, and there's no accountability on their part, according to the defendants' part, which would be the arms manufacturers, rather, that they have no accountability after it's shipped.
Tim,
so if I ship you a million, AR-15s, Larry, well then don't come to me about the AR-15s. Talk to Larry. He's the one that bought them.
That's a bunch of crap, bro.
So that's all a
scam.
That is their standpoint in Mexico, and we'll see how that goes because that's been going on for like a couple of years, but it's they're making some headway in it, so it'd be interesting to see how that turns out. Politics.
It's more politics involved than that compared to the guns itself. Somebody's going to get paid off for something.
So yeah, the plaintiff is the Mexican government, and the defendants are the U.S. arms manufacturers. So who knows?
You can't sue the gun company. Good luck on that. That's the last person you want to sue. You can't sue guns.
Well, we'll see how Mexican fares out on that one, right? Who knows?
Good luck on that one, Mexico.
Who knows?
I'm with you, but you're gonna lose that one drastically.
Hey, the other thing I wanted to bring up, and I seen this, they had taken a survey, and it seems that a lot of Americans, still are in favor if you would just go by the popular vote. What does the majority of the people in the United States want in this particular office, right? Not by the electoral college, which is, let's watch the video and then come back and talk to this.
When the Founding Fathers were writing the Constitution of the United States over 2 centuries ago, they didn't exactly trust that the American people, or even Congress, could make the right choice for president. So they compromised and set up a system called the Electoral College, where even if a candidate wins the popular vote, they still might not win the presidency. Think Al Gore's loss to George W. Bush in 2000 and Hillary Clinton's to Donald Trump in 2016. The Electoral College currently consists of 538 electors, 1 for each member of Congress plus 3 for the District of Columbia. Each state is assigned a different allotment of votes based on how many people live there. In 48 states and D.C., the candidate winning the popular vote receives all that state's votes, the exceptions being Nebraska and Maine. Those 2 states assign 2 electoral votes to the winner of the state's overall popular vote and 1 to the winner of each congressional district's popular vote. For a candidate to win the presidency, they must secure at least 270 electoral votes, a majority of the 538. This so-called indirect election process has come under a lot of criticism lately, with detractors calling it undemocratic. Proponents argue the Electoral College ensures that citizens of less populous states are equally represented and stands as an important piece of American federalist democracy.
No, that's called micromanaging. That's how that shit is. Basically, what they're saying is that we're going to let y'all ass vote. but we don't think y'all smart enough or astute enough to pick the right president for the country.
See,
so
now,
we're gonna let you vote just to play the game.
Right, and herein also lies the issue with why people favor going back possibly to the popular vote is because when you go to the electoral college is when you have the electors going to Washington and turning those in for, and that's the same thing that got FUBAR for January 6th. Remember, they wanted to send fake electors with the result instead of having one vote coming from that particular state, which would be or not one vote, the consensus of the people, the popular vote.
Well, man, you know what? I believe in both of them. I believe it should be 50-50. Whatever electorals they have or what, see, I'm not real big on that process, but I can study and learn it.
I guess they could all be manipulated.
We could be, but at the end of the day, a good safe middle ground would be go 50-50. 50 electoral votes, 50 popular votes. Not just in number, but make it 50-50, whatever the numbers are. And just have it that way because...
Kind of like what what was it, states? They said 2 states do that, right?
Yeah, and they split it up.
They split it up because if you win the popular, or you get so many points, and if you win the electoral, or depending upon the divisions in the districts in that state, you get a point.
Well, yeah, because like the popular vote, I think that's kind of stupid too, because it's not like you're running for like senior president in your high school, and you're not really making a real decisions. Or like my daughter, she's part of student council in her school in 4th grade, and they have to run for like student council and get picked. The popular vote, she was popular, she got picked. So this is a country, this is the people. So you have to use.
Well, popular means a concession of everybody.
But
electoral college is individual areas.
Yeah. But you can't just say popular vote because I like Trump. I liked Trump before he became president. I didn't like him as president. You see what I'm saying?
He had a good TV show.
Yeah, I'm just saying I liked Trump before he became president. President Barack Obama, I didn't even know him or like him because I know nothing about him until he got into politics. Okay, so that's a big difference. And I will more likely, this is for black men talking, I will be more likely to vote for Trump because of the popular vote and because I saw him on TV. He had black people on his TV shows and this. I'm like, okay, this dude's all right. Barack Obama, he came in, know nothing about the guy. I know he was a brother. He wasn't all American black, but he was half black, half white. So I was like, okay, that's cool, but I'm not going to just support him just because he look kind of like me. So you know what I'm saying? So
I think that all came from when he did that speech in 2014 at the Republican convention, and everybody was like, "Wow, man, this guy's on."
Yeah, but he's a politician, man. That's what they do. He was a great.
Good speaker.
Obama was probably one. I'm gonna rephrase it. President Barack Obama is probably one of the greatest presidents. No, I can't say that. I gotta say, Lyndon Johnson was probably the greatest president for black people or for people in general because he did a lot of things to break the racial barrier and help everybody out. You know what I'm saying? So I got to go with Lyndon Johnson. But he was a great politician, and then he was a great liar, and people believed him. But at the end of the day, he's a politician. And Trump was a terrible politician. So I liked Trump before he became president. I don't like Trump as president. He needs to stick with TV shows and building buildings and shit like that. He don't need to be trying to. No, Trump should not be fucking president.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here with all this stuff that goes on. And hey, this guy just.
Even then, Tim, look what he did. He playing golf with Bin Laden's third son or some shit. And then he talking about golfers need to make more money. And then you got damn Brittany, what's her name? The chick that's in the Russian jail right now for a vape pen with some weed in it. They ain't got her out.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that just Brittany? Yeah. Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner did the WNBA. If LeBron James made more money than those women in the history of the WNBA compared to in one season they made in the whole damn since it's been existed. I'm like, he talking about people need money. I'm like, start helping these women that are doing the same jobs as men are doing. Start doing that.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, you know what else was kind of that struck me? I saw in the news today, and it's like, and they did reel it back, is because he went in to testify, with his business dealings in New York. He's in the New York District Court, And over his business dealings. To see, we talked about that. If he's inflating his actual properties so that he can get better reductions off of his taxes, tax type garbage. We talked about this sometime.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyhow, he went into court today, and every question they asked him, he took the fifth. I take the fifth. And then I'm like, well, there's the same guy that some months back, said if you take the Fifth Amendment, then you must be guilty. I'm like, oh, what are you trying to prove a point? Are you actually guilty? I mean, what? The man confuses me. As you say, stick the TV down. You're cool on TV.
Yeah, stick to TV. He should not be.
Stick to TV and promoting golf tournaments and
this
shit
guy's
like
so
that.
wrong for this country. I'm like, why? He's a clown, and people love this clown.
That's because he's a clown. He's like an entertainment. He's like, I go see what
Tim, I know some black folks that love the fuck out of Trump.
See what
president,
he does next.
not the Trump on TV that you're fired. The Apprentice, they love Trump as president. He was horrible.
What did he do? So anyhow, that's another conversation.
Trump is terrible.
Hey, listen, here's one that's not on the agenda, and I wanted to get to this because this crossed me, and I'm like, this is always nice to hear. Information like this is fantastic, and we got to share it with our audience.
A recent study has found that rainwater is no longer safe to drink anywhere on Earth. Researchers at Stockholm University and ETH Zurich University found that the water is unsafe due to the presence of forever chemicals which have been found in remote places like Antarctica and on the Tibetan Plateau. Now, according to this study, the rainwater contains per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, that's PFAS, human-made chemicals used in various consumer and industrial products. Researchers said these chemicals don't break down in the environment. Based on the latest U.S. guidelines for PFOA in drinking water, rainwater everywhere would be judged unsafe to drink, said Ian Cousins, the study's lead author.
And that was just published this month.
I believe it. But Tim, think about it. You can make rainwater safe again. That should be one of Trump's now we should get that to Herschel Walker. We can make rainwater safe again, but
you got to trade it with China. But you're gonna have to trade it with China.
Right?
They got our good air. They got our good water.
Tim, that's part of evolution, bro. I'm like, think about it. You're looking at TV. You got these plastic containers. You got these cars. You got all these things that we use on a daily basis. Even the podcast, it takes stuff to make the stuff that we use to put out to use to make our lives better. That's part of evolution.
And it pollutes our entire environment. That's just devastating to think about, Larry. Is it, the rain barrels where you used to collect rain and you could do your wash and hell no, stay away. That toxic shit. Are you crazy?
Man, when America got industrialized by the British, was it the British when they brought the industries over here? Mm-hmm. That's when everything changed. But it changed for the better and worse. And you got to play both sides. You got to just be efficient and green as you can be. But at the end of the day, if you're not Amish or living off the land, or if you are living off the land, you still screwed because you need that rainwater. How the rainwater is not affecting the plants you're eating?
And I had cut that clip. Okay, that clip actually segued into exactly where you're going, and it said you are correct because now it's saturating the ground, which is growing your vegetables, plants, your other nutrients.
Yes,
and those are being fed to I don't eat veggies. I eat beef. Well, I'm sorry, they eat the stuff that's coming out of the ground, so it is going into them.
Oh, hold on, yeah. Cows eat, cows, sheep,
lamb,
so
it's an endless cycle of killing each other.
Well, we're gonna die anyway. It depends on how you're gonna die. You're gonna die eating a plant from some bad rain, or you're gonna die getting hit by a car, or you're gonna die with some bad air, or you're gonna die with Trump hitting you with a golf ball, or
yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, what? Die from the sun in Texas. There's a lot of ways to die.
Hey, one never knows, man. One never freaking knows.
But that's pollution. That's how it happens. I'm like, It is what it is.
Well, I find
we
it.
Gotta enjoy while we're here.
You know, and we have it here up around Lake Erie where we are. The part of Lake Erie that we're at is probably around 30 foot deep. All right, it doesn't get deeper until you get a little closer to Canada and or towards Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
However, being so shallow, and we have a lot of rivers, we have 3 or 4 major rivers that go into Lake Erie, and a lot of those then have drainage ditches in them, and the drainage ditches are far runoff. So now we have, with the heat, algae blooms.
Mm.
So there's a lot of green algae, you know, along the shorelines in the Western Basin here.
Yeah, the algae sucks.
And
yeah, it sucks.
I mean, it's toxic.
Yeah, this algae.
So I mean, we're even polluting our major water supplies.
Yeah, but hell, we got TV shows, we got cars, we got tires that can tread water, we got plastic bowls, containers, we got hair care products. You got a shirt on, you got a hat on, you got a guitar on your wall.
In a toxic environment.
Paint and everything on my wall.
Look at all that toxic. Yeah, look at all that toxin behind you hanging on the wall. What are you doing?
Man, we're living it.
Living the Viva Loca.
We just gotta just buy our time, man. You know what I'm saying? Just don't defund the police, hold them accountable. Stop letting Trump play golf with Arabians. I don't know. Man.
I don't know what to say, man. Just enjoy the ride, because like you say, it's not gonna last too long. You may as well laugh about this shit.
Yeah, I've never seen nobody live to be past 100, and I've never known nobody live to be past 100-some years old. So
most of them are like, who wants to? You know, I've seen enough of this shit. I'm gone. I'm going home.
Once my balls hit my knees, I want to go in and just get up there. If my balls, you know.
I'm going home, bro. Hey, man, you know what? Let's move into your favorite part of the show.
Asshole of the week.
Asshole Lord. And let's see who this asshole is. And okay. Here we go.
Alex Jones took the stand in his own defense today in his defamation case, but just hours before he did, he went on his talk show that airs on the InfoWars website and said this about the father of a Sandy Hook massacre victim.
Let's just say he's a nice man, and it's not an act. He is being manipulated by some very bad people. I mean, I'll just say it because I got to be honest. He's slow, okay? And his ex-wife is not. And I don't think he's stupid. I'm just saying I've got family members that are really smart in a lot of ways, but they're just real kind of quiet and have this way about them, and they move at a different pace. Like they're fast in some ways and slow in others. And I think Heslin acts like somebody on the spectrum.
Heslin is Neil Heslin, the father of a 6-year-old boy murdered at Sandy Hook 10 years ago. Prosecutors quickly turned that around on Jones and played the clip for the jury today. A court already found him guilty of defaming the parents. Now a jury has to decide how much he must pay because of the damage he caused.
That's a dumb motherfucker, man.
He deserves asshole. You got to say.
Bro.
You got that
Tim, anything I say on the show, if anybody confront me, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to roll with it. But I'm not going to say anything that's going to just put anybody down or make anybody feel less than what they are. I'm going to tell the truth and uplift if I can, and then still speak the truth. But that's the whole part about a podcast. That's what we're supposed to do. You know,
speak from the heart.
Speak from the heart. But when it comes to something that's sensitive,
I mean, I can't believe, first off, he says that it was all a parade, you know, actors. You remember all this. And it was all staged, and, you know, that's why he's in there. And then before he goes in and testifies again, he's on his podcast telling the world that this guy's a idiot of some type.
All I know is
And how is that not defamation? I mean, what are you doing?
He's gonna be running for president eventually, and he's gonna have a good chance. Probably got a good chance to make it, because that's what this country loves. This country loves people that are controversial. They love people that are just slang and slander people like that. That's what they love. Trump is good at it. This guy's good at it, and this country loves that bullshit, man. I'm like, it's entertaining. It's funny when it's a roast. Okay, if it's a roast, yeah, that shit funny as shit. But when you just actually
believe that kind of shit, yeah, when that's your actual mindset, and remember, he was 2 weeks ago, I think we had him on there. He's the same guy that was going, I am not a robot. The robots are taking over the world, and God gave me the power to fight off the robots.
He's gonna get the asshole of the year award. Him and that one white chick that was.
Oh yeah, that girl from.
Then we gotta have an asshole of the year award, because it's right now it's out of him. Who's the senator? The white chick,
yeah. Margaret.
Ted Cruz.
Yeah, Margaret. Yeah, she's.
Man, Margaret, Ted Cruz. Right now they right.
Margaret Taylor Greene. Yeah, she was whatever.
Yeah, Ted Cruz. Yeah, so.
And Ted. Yeah, they're all in the running. But you know what's interesting? Yeah, I mean, they're all cronies of Donald, so I mean, if he does get back in, it should be a real freaking entertaining group.
We don't need we got enough. We got Atlanta Basketball Wild. What shows you watch, Tim? What's your shows? What entertains you?
Oh, I like Blue Bloods, stuff like that.
Blue Bloods, okay. I watch Olympics, sports events,
I like
field, basketball events. My wife, she's in Atlanta Basketball Wives. I look at the documentaries and stuff like that. So
I love documentaries, but normal TV.
Got enough entertainment, Tim. Yeah, if I don't want my politicians, the people that's supposed to be, I ain't gonna say supporting me, because they don't support us, or representing me. I don't need them up there damn parading around like it's a TV show. America is not a TV show country. But that's what we look like to everybody else. It's a fucking show. It's a fucking show down here in America, man.
And on that, there ain't nothing more to say.
Wait, no.
Damn TV show.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Let's get the hell out of here. I mean, for real, I can't believe this is insane. These mugs. Let me get to Larry.
Okay, there we go. Hey, check this out. I'm Larry Estelle from LRE Fitness, certified personal trainer. You can check me out on IG at Estelle Junior Larry or at LRE Fitness Solutions. The same thing on Facebook, Estelle Junior Larry, LRE Fitness Solutions. My fitness tip of the week is plain and simple, people. Shoes. Shoes are just as important as having a good mattress. Whatever workout or training you're doing, get the adequate shoes to make sure you have the best overall workouts that you're going to do. If you're a runner, spend a little bit more money on getting you some shoes. They got some Adidas, they got some Saucony shoes out there, they got some lot of good shoes, some Nikes. They're going to cost you a little bit more, but when you're training, you got to get the right shoes. Or if you're a little bit beginner, you don't have to spend a lot of money on those shoes. Those shoes cost like $100+. Maybe get you at least some shoes that cost you around between $50 and $100. If you're on a treadmill, if you're walking, if you're riding a bike or something like that, you might not need expensive shoes. But if you're doing riding a bike, walking and running, you got to have the right shoes. If you're running track, the right shoes. Remember, when you're training in track, if you're a sprinter or whatever, you never train in your track spikes. You only train in the running shoes you have to train in. And then when you go to your events, when you racing, then you put the track spikes on. Never make that mistake. I did that before, and I injured myself. So you train in the proper shoes depending on what exercise and workouts you're doing. Do not be cheap on your shoes, because you will regret it. That's my tip for the week. LRE Fitness, IG. Estelle Junior Larry, and same thing on Facebook, LRE Fitness Solutions, Estelle Junior Larry. Check me out. I got new videos coming soon.
I like that. All right, and Smooth Tim. Hey, my tip for you is you can be anything you want to be and do anything you want to do. The only thing that's holding you back is you. Make a plan and stick to that plan. Follow that vision, set yourself some real good, positive goals, and do Larry and I a favor this week, and as we asked you last week, Go out and do something good for somebody just for no damn reason at all. And you can follow me, Tim, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And real easily, go to YouTube and type in The Queen Sylvia Show. You'll get the content of Larry and I's past shows as well as the other shows that I am involved in. So we do appreciate you dropping in with us. And I guess, Larry, we're going to tell him until next week. We'll holla, man. Peace.